Closed captioning for great tastes is presented by Manitoba Canola Growers. Canola. Eat well for life. Manitoba Liquor Mart presents Great Tastes of Manitoba. Great Tastes is brought to you by GreatTastesMB.ca. Local farms, local foods. Great Tastes is sponsored by the Government of Canada and Manitoba Agriculture through the Canadian Agricultural Partnership. Welcome to Great Tastes of Manitoba, where tonight we will savor the flavor with Manitoba canola oil and Manitoba Canola Growers. We have Ellen Pruden here. Always a party when Ellen's here. We're going to have some fun tonight. And of course, Aaron Alblas, Manitoba Liquor Marts. So tonight, savor the flavor. We love canola oil because, in fact, it does so well with all different kinds of foods that we want to make. And tonight's recipes are going to be the perfect example of that. What are we making tonight?
We are bringing the versatility and the flavor with tofu and canola oil in a whole bunch of different dishes. But we're going to start off with a Better Than Takeout hot and sour soup.
Better Than Takeout?
Fantastic. And then an Indian-inspired chili tofu. And you can see the theme going on here. And then we have a crispy tofu noodle dish that's going to wrap it all up. It's going to be great.
Perfect. And I felt like there was some sort of like beer rainbow. We referenced a beer rainbow in a previous episode. And are we going there again tonight? Did I pick up on that?
Yeah. So when we're drinking beer without food, there's a style that we often use. And then when we're pairing beer with food, we kind of have to look at it a little bit differently. So we're going to keep things local.
Nice.
We usually like to do. And we're going to talk about beer.
Awesome.
Very good. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks, Aaron.
You know, I usually, like, these recipes have a lot of flavor, and I always think of beer to be matched with, so that we're having, you know, an Asian dish, we're having an Indian dish. And
it's
then
like he's reading your mind.
I know,
I'd be
so
careful
I'm so
about
excited.
that if I were you.
Excited.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to get started, and so with a great soup, you're going to have a nice, your soup pot. Maybe you have a special soup pot. We're going to add in our canola oil, because it really can take the heat. You want it to coat it nicely
and
at the bottom.
When we cook together, you always like sort of like freehand the oil.
You know, I'm a professional.
You are a professional. You've been doing this a minute.
So we're gonna let the canola oil kind of warm up, because you don't want to add in your ingredients into a hot pan with cold oil.
How
so
long?
It just
How
takes
long? Like a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are starting off with chicote mushrooms. And now if you can't find these, you can substitute like a button mushroom,
Sure.
either white or brown. So that goes in, nice sizzle.
Yeah, there it's already happening. Things are happening. Do you want me to stir?
Coat them, sure, that would be wonderful. Thanks, Des.
Yeah.
So we'll get that just softening. Those are gonna bring the flavors. And hot and sour soup is really neat because we have some spice, some sour, a little bit of sweetness that's gonna happen, a little, you know, so it kind of covers all the flavors when you're looking at. And then there's the umami factor.
Umami?
Umami. And those are the mushrooms. The mushrooms are gonna deliver that.
Yeah, and it's just something that very sort of unique. There's only a few foods I think that really have that quality, and mushrooms are certainly one of them. Yeah.
Ginger, of course, you need. So look at our sizes of ginger.
I was going to say that
because we want to peel. We want to take them out at the end, because that's the worst thing. You're going to be enjoying your soup, and then
who gets the ginger? Who gets the ginger?
Well, in our family, it's like the winner gets the ginger.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, I make it be a fun thing because I usually take it out. But if you want to be nice to your guests, take it out.
Take it out.
So the ginger's going to get coated with the mushrooms, and now we have the oil going on. We're going to add in our chili flakes because we do need a little bit of heat here.
I guess you can play with that a little bit in terms of how hot you want it to be, right?
Yeah, so it can be a mix. We're using mostly the whites of the green onions, and that gives us a really nice flavor there.
Peak of the market.
Don't we love Peak of the Market?
I do.
Locally grown, we love our local farmers. So as that kind of reduces down, then we have two sets of ingredients that we're going to add in. So you have bamboo shoots. Now, if you find them and you love them, use them. If you don't, just
leave them out?
Leave them out. Leave them out.
What kind of a texture do they have? They're sort of like
take a bite. It's kind of like there's a little bit of a non-flavor, you know, but it gives a great...
Hard to describe.
Isn't it?
But like it.
I do.
And I can
really
almost
like
see how that would absorb some of the flavors maybe a little bit as well.
Yeah. It's so nice. And that's what we're here. So, okay, so we're adding our bamboo shoots. They come in a can, drain them out, get rid of the liquid. Now, the other trick with the tofu, so this is a extra firm tofu, and we've cut it all into the same size. That's the key,
Have
right?
you ever?
So I know, isn't
long
it
did that
perfectly
take you?
done? Well, you know, again, I am a professional.
Right.
So we're gonna add that in. Oh, and that goes for.
Last one. Casualty.
Okay, so that gets all mixed in together. That will reduce down.
I have a question.
You're gonna add in the broth.
Am I doing that right now?
Please do.
Okay. Because one of the things I was going to say, what is this extra firm tofu, did you say?
Extra firm tofu.
Okay, because sometimes I worry that it's going to get like kind of like mashed up in there, and you don't want that. Like you want them to stay cubed, right?
Right. So, you know, extra firm tofu is a great one to start with, if you've never had tofu. And it's because the texture is, you know, I think some people don't like the texture. Do you eat tofu?
You know, I'll be honest, I struggled with tofu for a long time because I think if it's not done well, it's maybe not so great. But when it's done well, I mean, it's fantastic because it absorbs, again, it absorbs all the flavors of everything around it, yeah.
I know, and you can flavor it to anything you want.
Yeah.
So we have cornstarch, this is the other, so the next secret ingredients that go into the hot and sour soup. So we're gonna add it to the water and it makes like a little slurry. It helps us to thicken.
Okay.
So that goes in, so you're gonna add that.
Okay.
That gets cooked down a little bit. Okay, so now we're seeing what's happening here. Next are our flavor agents. So we have garlic chili sauce that goes in. We have rice wine vinegar that goes in. That gives it the nice acid. And then we have a soy sauce that gives a lot of flavor and that saltiness that happens.
Okay.
Now the beautiful trick with the hot and sour soup is you have to get your eggs. So
Oh
we
my
have
gosh,
these
the
beautiful
egg. I forgot about the egg.
I
Countryside
know.
Farms Vita eggs.
Love
going
them.
in the hot and sour.
So here's the trick. If you can do it once, you're gonna keep stirring
I'm
because
gonna
we
keep
want
stirring.
ribbons, and I'm gonna slowly pour in the eggs, and they're gonna cook down just gorgeously, and we'll get all those ribbons that will be formed.
That's wicked. And then you don't even really start to see it for a bit?
It will start to like
come
cook
together?
and congeal and come together. You're gonna finish it off with a little sesame oil,
Oh, man.
some green onions,
Fantastic.
and we have a great, better than takeout hot and sour
Look
soup.
at that beauty. Ellen Pruden, thank you very much. Recipe number 1. Recipe number 2, Indian tofu chili when we come back here on Great Taste of Manitoba. Looks good.
You're watching Great Tastes of Manitoba, brought to you in part by the Government of Canada and Manitoba Agriculture through the Canadian Agricultural Partnership.